knew I was tech savvy. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? It is your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, I got my buddy here, Brandon, Super Saints fan. Very excited to do this show today, talking about the Atlanta Falcons. They are next on the clock. Brandon, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, man?
I am good. I'm ready to talk about this team.
I tried to convince Juan to put a different name on the ticker, but he didn't agree. But
No,
it is what it is.
I was not going to put that team from Atlanta or the team that blew a 28-3 lead. I think they're over it.
Come
Today,
on, I said it's 28-3. They did it. It's not like it's not like I'm lying.
It's not out of the listen. It is all facts. I understand that it happened. You gotta let it go. You know how you tell me to let it go? You gotta let it go. It happens. It happens to the best of them, man. It does. All right. But today, the Atlanta Falcons are up on the clock. And boy, did they have a season that, oh man. Let's just get right into it, man. Let's just get right into it. So they traded away Julio Jones. They're, probably, I want to say the best player Atlanta ever had, but damn near an Atlanta Falcon legend. They traded him away to Tennessee after years of service there. They finished the season 7-10, 26 on offense, 29th on defense. And, there's really, what's really sad is you look at this Atlanta Falcon team, and if you see the names from this year or from this past season to what they have right now, they are surely going to miss Matt Ryan. They are surely going to miss Julio Jones. They are surely going to miss, because now that 28-3 Super Bowl blowout is like a distant memory. Like it seems like it was such a long time ago, and it wasn't.
To the fans of Atlanta, yeah, it's a distant memory. But to me, it was like yesterday.
It was forever. It's almost like that miracle in Minnesota. Just almost the same thing.
That's a way different conversation. That was one play where we just didn't have the right damn call on defense. They literally had an entire second half and they blew an entire lead. It's not even close to the same damn play.
Michael, what's going on, man? It's always nice to see your guys' support, man. Thanks a lot, man.
It's not even the same thing. Like they had, it's like literally Kansas City and Buffalo. Like they literally was just scoring on each other and had no other alternative. That's exactly what the Saints of Minnesota was.
The alternative was, let's see who gets the ball first. But now they finished 7-10, 26 offense, 29th on defense. A lot has happened with this team. And let's just drive right into it. Their draft class from last year. The first round pick at pick number 4, they drafted Kyle Pitts, the tight end out of Florida and everything. And lo and behold, he was the leading receiver of this team. And who could blame him? Because they had nobody else. Because all they had at their disposal was a Russell Gage. Calvin really kind of disappeared and now is going to disappear for quite a bit. And, they really didn't have anything else. Julio Jones, they traded him away. So Kyle Pitts was their only option. And, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what they've done at 4. They messed up anyway by not taking one name. But we're not going to get into that. All right. 68 receptions, 1,026 yards, and 1 touchdown.
Let it go on.
All right. Listen. And the 1 touchdown didn't even come in American soil. It came in London. That's like the equivalent. And I always say that's like the equivalent of a guy losing his virginity in another country, and he brags about it when he comes home, but nobody can ever claim that they saw it happen because it claimed it happened in another country. Nobody saw it. Nobody cared. All right. Your 1 touchdown was in non-American soil.
It was like at 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, who the hell?
Kudos, though, for being a Pro Bowl tight end, which, okay, cool. As an alternate, cool. That's great. That's great. You should thank Kelsey Waller that they didn't want to play. Anyway, their second round pick number 40, they took the safety Richie Grant out of UCF. And listen, there's not much more you would want from a safety other than just to show some promise as a rookie. 28 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 2 pass deflections. That's enough promise for me to think that, all right, they have no choice. He's going to have to start now because now with the retirement of Ricardo Allen, he has to start now. That's why you drafted him, to be the starter down the road. And he showed enough promise in his time to where I think he's going to fill that role very nicely. Now, 3rd round pick 68, Jalen Mayfield, the offensive tackle out of Michigan. He is now your starting left guard. He played tackle in Michigan, but they're going to swing him to guard, see how that works. And that's what you got to do. When you draft these guys this early, you got to let them play. If you have somebody better, I can understand. But when you have nobody in front of you, Carolina, you got to play them. You got to play them. You got to see what you got. You can't be scared to lose. That's my thing. You can't be scared to lose. All that good hoorah, hoo-ha shit. All right, the good little, the D3 Mighty Ducks speech and everything. All right. Now, 4th round pick 108. They went Darren Hall, the cornerback out of San Diego State. 32 tackles. Oh, I'm sorry, 27 tackles, 1 sack, and 3 pass deflection. Nothing too crazy. Too big, too small to play outside, too slow to play slot. So they're going to use him as a 4th rotational guy. But he works great on special teams. He's a good blocker on the punt team and everything, and it works out perfectly for him. I think they found a good role for him. 5th round, 148, Taquan Graham, the defensive tackle out of, Texas, with everything that happened in free agency. In the depth chart, if you look at it right now, he is now the starter. I don't expect that to happen when training camp rolls around, or who knows, maybe Atlanta says, let's roll the dice. I mean, can't be scared to lose, so you might as well see what you got. Now, this next name, I'm sorry if I butcher it. I hope to God well, if you do see this video, great, but I'm so sorry if I do butcher your name. Just a few picks later, Adekanbo Ogundaji, the defensive end out of Notre Dame. I am so sorry, man, if I butchered that name. I am so sorry.
That sounds about right. I don't know. That sounds as close as right as I can get it.
I am so sorry. I hate butchering names, man. That's just one of my things about me. I hate butchering names. Now, 33 tackles, 1 sack, and 1 pass deflection. Hey, look, man, do what you can do. Take some snaps. Do what you can do. Now, Avery Williams, the cornerback out of Boise State, their next 5th round pick. You know what? Not bad either. 22 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 pass deflection. An amazing gunner on the special teams. So he found his role. And when we get to these rounds, 5 through 7, you're just looking at anybody to contribute to special teams at this point. And Avery Williams contributed in every single way that you can imagine. And last but not least, 6th round pick, 187, Frank Darby, wide receiver out of Arizona State. 1 reception, 14 yards. Listen, he was a healthy scratch. Played what he could, did what he could. And now, by the graces of everything that happened to Atlanta's off season and in season, he's going to be on the team because as we get into it, you'll see why. So, Brandon, tell me this, man. Give me an idea of what you think the Falcons are trying to build here. What are they trying to build here?
Okay, God.
Because I'm not going to diss Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith did incredible things with incredible talent. He's an amazing. Now that dude is an offensive mind genius. All right, that dude gets it into the right hands.
He got 7 wins with that type of lineup and that roster they had last year. He got 7 wins. That's an impeccable feat. I mean, to be honest with you,
that's one heck of a feat. I will tell you that. Arthur Smith,
impeccable feat. I mean, to get to 7 freaking wins with that type of roster where you barely had a receiver.
Smith deserves no slack in this. He is an offensive guru. That's a true one. All right.
I mean, listen, if I had to pretty much sum up what Atlanta's trying to do for this season, that is get to the top 2. As the top 2 picks in 2023. Because
the best they can.
Listen, there's got to be a team that's just god awful like to take the Texans or the Falcons out of that was 1-2. You gotta be just absolutely just terrible. Like just 0-17. Like you just gotta be very bad to not to overlap the Texans and the Falcons because they have absolutely nothing in those teams.
When I looked at the depth chart, when I made my selection, when I made my selection on who I think they're going to take, I looked at the depth chart, and the one thing, see, the other picks that we've done so far, there's an identity there. There's
something there. Yeah.
There's identity somewhere of what they're trying to do. When you look at the Falcons,
there's
no one true identity. There's no like, okay, on the offensive side, are we going to be heavy run? Are we going to be a pass? Are we going to be super balanced? And on the defensive side, are we just going to focus on the run? Are we a pass? What are we? They're just, and then when you look at their draft class, they look like they're just swinging it on the fly. They're swinging it now. I do not discredit the Kyle Pitts pick. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it was a bad pick. All right. I just think he went to the wrong team. If you saw my episodes last year, for the fans that did come back this year, you know I had that dude at number 16 to Arizona. And do you think that Arizona would have loved a Kyle Pitts fall to them at that point?
I mean, yeah, they probably would never traded all their picks to get Zach Ertz.
Bingo. Now, I'm not discrediting Kyle Pitts, the football player. I'm discrediting the franchise that made the pick. First of all, you got on the podium. The general manager of Atlanta, after night one was over, got on the podium and said, his words, not mine. His words were, we got the best pass catcher in all this draft. Did Jamar Chase, like at that point, I thought to myself, did Jamar Chase die at a party or something? Did he just die? Like for the general manager of the Atlanta Falcons to say, we got the best pass catcher, regardless of position, in all the draft. Like, did Jamar Chase just die?
Oh, wow.
I'm like, whoa, okay, Mr. Balls. Like, what?
Literally the next pick is Jamar Chase.
Understand, pick 5, guys, was Jamar Chase. The dude went up on the podium and said, we got the best pass catcher in all of this draft. You have got to be kidding me.
Kyle Pitts ain't even the best pass catcher in Atlanta. Like, Calvin really was that.
Like, you've got to be joking with me, right?
Kyle Pitts wasn't even like the best pass catcher in that draft.
No. Then it gets better. Then it gets better. Well, Mr. General Manager, you know your defense was terrible last year. Why didn't you get the best defensive player? Because they felt him and Calvin Ridley were going to do damage together. Understand this. One, I'm already upset about the fact that you didn't want to take Micah Parsons because Oluokun, Deion Bush, Grady Jarrett needed help. They needed pass rushers.
Yeah.
You could have taken a Micah Parsons at 4. Okay? You would have taken him at 4. And not have to work and build around that defense for years. There is nothing that votes confidence in me. You're going to build this offense around Kyle Pitts. Who builds their offense around a tight end? Then the second thing you're going to tell me, you believed you got the best pass catcher in all this draft. Unless Jamar Chase died or he retired, then this is why I always say, and with the shows we do, yeah, that team in Atlanta. It's not because of the fans. It's not because of the players. It's none of that.
Because of fans.
It's none of that. It is the people. It is the general manager who is giving Arthur Smith shitty groceries to make this shit work. And then we get to the point where Calvin Ridley leaves halfway through the season. Why? Because his mental, and listen, this is no joke. All right. I'm glad the homie took some time off.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because I was trying to take care of my mental health. You know what, homie? You ain't going to say it. I'll say it for you. Hell yeah, I want to get the hell out of there. Hell yeah, I want to get the hell out of here. Look how much more relaxed Matt Ryan is in that press conference in Indianapolis. Look how much relaxed Julio Jones looked when he set foot in the Tennessee locker room. It's not the players that are making it toxic. I know it ain't Arthur Smith now. It's the damn people that are upstairs making these football decisions. They are making it hard for football players to enjoy their lifestyle in Atlanta. And Atlanta's a badass town, man. It's a badass town. But they are making it so hard to live there. It irks me to see this. Like, I know Atlanta's better than this. I know they are. But they just can't get nothing right. Brandon, I'm going to let you have the next word, man, before I say some stuff I'm not supposed to. Go ahead, man.
Deshaun Watson wanted to go to Atlanta. Nobody asked. Nobody was like, none of his reps were like, we should talk to Atlanta. He wanted to go home. And then he decided to go to Cleveland. He was like, I'd rather play in a cold ass. no one receiver that doesn't show up in big games. A barely there offense. I'd rather play there than in my hometown because it's going to be at least a 2 to 3 year rebuild. At least a 2 to 3 year rebuild. Atlanta is they're done for a while. I don't know how to word that. I mean, Arthur Smith is a great coach, but you're in a division right now with Tom Brady, our defense, Carolina's defense. Like, Carolina has an identity defensively. The fact that they gave you a defense and an offense and pretty much a special teams with no real identity is ridiculous. Like, I got a point right now on this goddamn thing that I'm looking at. And the only good thing for Atlanta that I could literally put on their damn for good is literally them re-signing their goddamn kicker. Like, that's the only thing I could find for Atlanta. I was like, that's actually a good thing they did. Young Hoku going back to Atlanta is the only good thing that they did this entire offseason. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty damn smart.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be used a lot. I'm going to tell you that right now. He's going to be used a lot. So I hope he's got insurance.
If they get down the field. We ain't like they're going to get down the football field. We don't even know if they're going to – listen. I think Atlanta screwed themselves last year. Now, I'm with you. I think if you were trying to create something of identity for yourself, Michael Parsons would have been a great selection because now you got Grady Jarrett. You got Grady Jarrett. And then you also have Deion Jones, linebacker. It's just waiting there, still there, playing for you guys. You got something now. You have at least something.
And then we're not going to discredit that AJ Terrell's not part of that defense.
Yeah, you still had Ricardo Allen playing in the backfield, like playing safety. So you still had something. You would have had an identity. The fact that you got more afraid of the fact that Julio Jones was gone and thinking that I need to hurry up and get somebody for that instead of realizing that, no, you got something on defense. Just play towards that. They screwed themselves. And this is why I don't feel no type of way for Atlanta. Because they did it to themselves. I don't really feel bad for them. I could care less. I'm happy that they actually screwed themselves. It's actually funny for me.
And here's the messed up part about it. And this is where I want to get into it. Matt Ryan was their passing leader. He is now traded to the Colts. Cordell Patterson was their best running back. Okay, I can't even say their best running back because he was their best hybrid offensive weapon.
He's the best offensive weapon.
Okay? Not named Kyle Pitts, because if we don't involve Kyle Pitts, well, we got Kyle Pitts. Okay, whatever. Keep him. I'm glad to see him on another team in 3 years. Anyway, Cordell Patterson, he was their best hybrid offensive weapon. Foyesel Oluokun, the middle linebacker that played next to Deion Jones, the guy's incredible. Almost 200 tackles total, 3 interceptions and 2 sacks. AJ Terrell is one of the better corners in this league. 3 interceptions, 16 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble, 81 tackles and 1 sack. Dante Fowler, your prize free agent from last year, led your team in sacks with only 4.5. And now he's not even on the team anymore because you guys cut him after 1 season. So what am I trying to get at?
Atlanta sucks.
Atlanta has no identity. They have no idea what they want to build around. None of that. They have no idea what they want to do. Then your leading tackler is now going to Jacksonville. You decide. It's not even the fact that you want to build anything. You're just letting them go for nothing. Nothing. As I mentioned, Calvin Ridley, he left halfway through the season because he said he wanted to take his part away from his mental health and everything. That's perfectly fine. But now he's suspended a whole year because he got caught gambling. And by the way, he should have lost all that money. He bet money for the Atlanta Falcons to win. You should lose that money, homeboy. You should lose that money.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You lose Russell Gage to Tampa Bay. Hayden Hurst is now heading to Cincinnati. Dante Fowler is now heading to Dallas. Deron Herman, your starting safety from last year, is now heading to Vegas. Matt Gano, your starting tackle is now, or your backup swing tackle is now heading to the Giants. But let's take a look at what they did bring in. Because I don't think this is the general manager's doing. I think this is more Arthur Smith taking control of his team. They brought in Jalen Tabor, the cornerback from Chicago. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Now, Kadero Hodge is never going to be a number 1. He's never going to be a number 2 or number 3. But he's got some steady hands, and he showed a little bit in Detroit. Auden Tate, the forgotten wide receiver in Cincinnati, is now heading to Atlanta. Elijah Wilkinson, Damian Williams, the guard and running back from Chicago, they're now heading to Atlanta. Lorenzo Carter, the homegrown boy from Georgia, said, I want to come home. And you know what? I'm glad he did. Because that dude still got it. That dude still has it. Now, it would have been nice had you had Michael Parsons on one edge and Lorenzo Carter in the other. No, I'm not a general manager. None of that. Who am I? You guys are making all the big bucks. Who are we? We are nobody. Then, Casey Hayward, he comes home. He's going to probably retire there. This is probably going to be his last year. And then you got the ultimate stopback quarterback, Marcus Mariota. And let's be real for a second. We can laugh about it, but let's be real for a second. You don't think he's going to do well under an Arthur Smith offense? I mean, granted, I don't know who he's going to throw it to other than Kyle Pitts and probably Auden Tate. And, the Kadero Hodge and Frank Darby, names that we've never heard of.
I mean, he's actually reuniting with Arthur Smith, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because he was the Tennessee quarterback for a while.
Yeah.
Arthur Smith was there. So, he kind of knows offense. So, that makes sense.
It's just one of those things where now you got to look at it and it's like, man, did Tennessee like really screw this up? I mean, yeah, they're winning now, but it's like to what avail, like to what avail? It's like, dude, you needed Ryan Tannehill to pull you out of a 3-point lead and he gives the ball away. Like what are we doing here? But I'm going to put it to you like this. The most impressive thing to me, I think it's amazing. They re-signed their kicker. Cordell Patterson is back, so that's a good sign. Isaiah Oliver, Eric Harris, Kobe Gossett, Quadri Olison. Look, I believe in Arthur Smith. I do not believe in the general manager because you can't keep giving this dude crappy groceries and expect a decent meal.
Mm.
I hope they get this right. I really do. But I just want to know, Brandon, what are your predictions for them next year? Like, what do you see happening with Mariota at quarterback and everybody almost coming back?
4-13.
Ouch. That's a bummer.
Well, no, wait. No, 2-15.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That'll get you at least the second pick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that gives you at least the second pick, at least the first. I see top two. Atlanta doesn't really have enough offensive weapons. And defensively, you don't know.
They got, what they do have? They do have a good offensive line. They got that. They have a decent offensive line. It's pretty much below average, but it's better than most. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I would say them and the Giants and the Jags are kind of like all running in the same circle.
But I mean, it's better. I'll put it to you this way: it's better than most. I'm not gonna put them that low. I have a little faith in them. It's just we're gonna go back to this all offseason. They just have no identity. There's nothing there that tells me what team are you trying to be? Because you looked at other teams in free agency is what they've done. It's like, okay, they're gonna change their,
Mm-hmm.
or they're gonna keep pounding with their identity. They're gonna do all that. With the Falcons, it's the complete opposite. They're just like, well, whatever good we had, we're just gonna let them walk away for cupcakes. And we're going to re-sign the ones that we want because this is what we're going to do. Your whole offense cannot be Cordell Patterson. Like, there's just no way. It cannot be Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts. And for the love of God, if after night one, after this selection's made, whoever Atlanta picks, do not have the general manager go up to the podium and start talking. Do not go up there. All right? I've already heard enough from you to know that, you know what, dude? They test players for drugs. I think they should start doing the same thing for general managers. Because I understand every general manager is the same, I believe, I have confidence in this kid and I think we got the best player that we, that's fine. That's what everybody says. But when you go out there and you publicly say you're looking at front of this camera and you're saying, I got the best pass catcher in all the draft and I got the best player in all of this draft. Listen, dude, cocaine and heroin is one hell of a fucking drug, and something tells me you need to go get into a rehab station because that is the ridiculous thing I've ever freaking heard. All right. At least if Adam Gase was on coke, at least he wasn't afraid to probably admit it. Like, dude,
It damn show showed. So he couldn't lie. It damn show showed. So he couldn't lie about it.
The fact that you said, I got the best pass catcher and I got the best player in the draft tells me one of two things. You either have no idea what you're doing or you're so drugged up out of your mind, you got to leave Atlanta and you got to go into a rehab center. The first one you see, just go right in there, my man. Because that's enough. There's no way. There's no way you're going to tell me that. But I will say this for Atlanta, for the positive sides, let's try to stay on the positive sides here, as hard as it is. Listen, I'm glad the Kyle Pitts thing worked out. But when's the last time a franchise said, I'm going to build around my tight end? I'm glad Cordell Patterson is back. But how many more years does he have left in the tank? And listen, I'm glad AJ Terrell is your corner. But what makes you think he's so happy to be there right now? Because it seems like corners kind of get their way. Like defensive backs kind of get their ways to leave. I'm just giving the Atlanta heads up, like, hey, man, I hope you enjoy whatever talent you did have because they're about to leave. They're about to leave. Why?
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
Let it happen. Because you got a general manager that doesn't know what he's doing, and you got a head coach that has to put chicken crap and has to make it into a decent meal for prisoners to freaking eat. That's what we have in Atlanta, folks. You know, I do not hate the players there. I don't. What I hate is the people that are making the decisions there for me to say, what the hell are you guys trying to build here? What are we doing? Because now, last year, the problem was, man, we lost Julio Jones, but the good thing is we have Calvin Ridley. This year, you don't get Calvin Ridley. I think if you were to go to NFL fans like diehards, like, all right, name me the wide receiver core of the Atlanta Falcons right now. I bet you they couldn't even name you one receiver. It's like, well, what about Kyle Pitts? No, he's a tight end. Tight end. Name me one wide receiver. So I just, like I said, I just, what I want Atlanta to do, what I want the general manager of Atlanta to do is this.
Quit.
That'll probably be the best for the fan base, but just make the right decision. If you have a need, at this point, it ain't even about BPA. You got to get need here for Atlanta. So, Brandon, without further ado, what is the name that Roger Goodell is going to read on the card when it's their turn to pick? And please make it sense. Please help them. Please.
All right. So, the number 8 overall selection for the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons will select Kayvon Thibodeau, pass rusher from the Oregon Ducks. Listen, they need as much help defensively as they can get. And I don't think they're going to build that offense right now. I think they know that offense is pretty much dead in the water. So it's pretty much just like build a defense. They need to do what they didn't do last year. And that's get somebody that can actually create somewhat of pressure for that defense. Kayvon is the closest thing to a sizable defensive player. And plus, he's a name that will get, I guess, some people to come to the Mercedes-Benz Georgia Dome, whatever the hell they call it damn place now. But yeah, I got Kayvon Thibodeau going to the Atlanta Falcons because they need defensive help. They were ranked, 29th? So,
Yep.
So I think they need as much defensive help. And that could be their identity because they got more defensive weapons than they do offensively. And I think that's the only thing they got left for themselves is just to get something for defense.
If it were up to me, I wouldn't want to send anybody to Atlanta right now. Like, honest to God, my only idea for them is if your name gets called, retire.
I'm not even this harsh to Atlanta. Good God. Listen, I'm not even this harsh to Atlanta. I'm harsh.
Just go away. Go away. Just go to the USFL, go to the XFL, put your name in next year's draft, and there's no way you get Atlanta 2 years in a row. There's just no way.
I mean, hell, if Trevor Lawrence would have thought like that, he'd still be with the Jaguars this year. So we can't say that.
That's just an unlucky break. But it would have been a different draft. I will say that. I think, I think it's like it would have been a different draft. Plus, I'm pretty sure, with everything that happened, I'm pretty sure he would answer Doug Peterson's phone call and Urban Meyer's. But we're not going to get into that. Look, like I said, I think right now for Atlanta, there's no – I can't even say that. There's no wrong answer. There we go. There's no wrong answer here if you hide your general manager in the utility closet for the first night. And just make sure you guys get the right pick. Now, this is what I'm gonna put it to you like this. And I get it. They can go anywhere. And it'll probably be better what they have now. But there's no way in my heart, there's no way Atlanta has to look at that roster and be like, we traded Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley's not going to walk through that door this year. Olamide Sachus is our number 1 wide receiver. Kadero Hodge is our number 2. Frank Darby's our number 3. And Auden Tate right now on the depth chart is the rotational wide receiver. There's nothing in this world that tells me they cannot look at that wide receiver room and go, damn, we need to go back. We need a playmaker quick. That's why with the number 8th pick in this year's draft, I'm going to go Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. And, yes, I could have gone Jameson Williamson. I could have gone Drake London. I could have done any of those. But here's my thing. They need speed on the wide receiver room. And I think Garrett Wilson would fit perfectly for that team because, one, Marcus Mariota is going to get all the time in the world. I think he's going to get a good amount of time to see the field. It's just somebody has to get open. And why not take the receiver that could pretty much have the fastest 40 had he participated? And look, there's nothing that tells me he can't succeed in the NFL. People always look at intangibles and be like, he's going to get hurt. He's 6 foot 188. Devontae Smith is like 6 foot 175. Calvin Ridley had the same problem. Hunter Renfrow had the same thing. It's not about the size of the player. It's about how bad does he want it. Okay? And I'll tell you how bad he wants it. First team All Big Ten in 2020. Second team All Big Ten in 2021. 2019 as his freshman year, 30 receptions, 432 yards, 5 touchdowns. Not bad. In 2020, 43 receptions, 723 yards, 6 touchdowns. Hey, all right, we got some improvement. 2021, 70 receptions, 1,058 yards, 12 touchdowns. And why do I say Garrett Wilson? Because of this reason and this reason alone. Jameson Williams is not going to return kickoffs for you. He's not going to return punts. Drake London ain't going to do that. Hell, I don't think Chris Olave would even option that. Garrett Wilson will, though, because he's done returning in college. So you get a dual threat. You get a guy that's going to help you on your special teams, and you get a guy that's going to help you on your offense immensely. And at that point, that's where you start building your offensive identity. I know Marcus Mariota is not the quarterback of the future for Atlanta. He's only there for 2 years. After that, he's going to be a free agent again. And those 2 years come pretty quick. But I will say this. Don't you at least want to give him a stout wide receiver for when your future quarterback does come in? He can feel pretty comfortable when he does take over the reins of Atlanta. I think I would. So that's where I'm going with it. I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson. I just think he's just the perfect fit for Atlanta.
I would agree with you. And I had Garrett Wilson, but then I decided to go with, him for the Giants. The reason why I wouldn't say they would draft Garrett Wilson, even though their receiver core is very terrible. They do things as backwards in Atlanta. So what they should have did last year, they're going to probably do this year. And what they need to do next year, what they should do this year, they're going to probably do next year. So I think they're going to go as backwards and draft Kayvon Thibodeau just because they're going to think they have somewhat of an identity on defense now. And that's why they're going to go with Kayvon Thibodeau, because it's just like they're going to do as backwards. You just said a whole soliloquy about how their general manager is terrible. He doesn't know no damn better. You drafted a tight end when you clearly could have got him if you wanted Kyle Pitts that bad, you could have just traded back into the damn first round and got him. It wasn't like anybody was going to take him. Maybe Dallas, but they're stupid too. So it's just like
I just have this weird gut, man, that it's just like, you know what? You gotta go wide receiver. You cannot go into your now. You can always go wide receiver second round, and that's fine too. My only problem is, are they going to be better than what was already taken? Is there a wide receiver that's going to fall out of the first that maybe goes into the second?
no.
So I got to go with Garrett Wilson here. It's like you cannot. There's just nothing that screams at me more than saying, listen, I said it last year. You cannot lead the draft without Michael Parsons. He's going to be there for you. He's going to be there for you at 4.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't got to trade up
because
the first 3 teams are not going to take up. They already played their hand.
One.
They're going to go quarterback.
One. Did they draft Michael Parsons for it?
No, they did not.
Okay, then this is why I said they're going to give out because it's just like it depends on who's making the selection.
The thing for me is this: you don't have to do anything, Atlanta.
It's perfectly
You don't have to trade up.
Listen, I totally agree with you. It is literally, it's literally a layup. It's the most open layup of all time, and they're still going to bungle the finish. They're going to literally lose the ball in the lane by themselves. Nobody's around. Just lost the ball. Went out of bounds. Like, what the hell are you doing?
It's like you don't have like this is how lucky Atlanta has it. They don't have to trade up unless somebody jumps them. That means they must really love Garrett Wilson. If it were to play out like this,
if it plays out like you, yeah. But it plays out like me, then they have no goddamn choice, and they just got to take the best player out there right now.
You know, and my thing is like. Take the best wide receiver that's on the board. Take him. Because you cannot go into a season as your starting wide receivers, Satchwis and Hodge.
No, you can. You can, Atlanta. Don't let Juan disturb you. No, you can. You go in with Kyle Pitts.
I am a man that tries to help everybody. That tries to improve.
I am with you. I'm with you. But when you've done it to yourself, I'm just here to help you do it more to yourself. I'm not gonna try to like fix it.
And this is the thing that gets me. They're right there. They don't have to trade up. They don't got to do anything. Like AJ Terrell, they didn't have to trade up for him. He fell in their lap, and it's like you did the right decision. Calvin Ridley, he fell in your lap. You did the right thing. Why can't you do that constantly?
Well, here's the thing. It's a new general manager. We forget that. It's a way different new general. It's like, a new general manager. So
why? Understand this. When everybody scouts, everybody Hall of Famers are saying, "Oh yeah, Michael Parsons is going to be a Hall of Famer." Like, "Oh yeah, no doubt in my mind, that dude's the best defensive player to come out in a very long time."
Mm-hmm.
And you still told those Hall of Famers to go F themselves because you had the mentality of, "I'm smarter than everybody in this room." Whoever you are, whoever's making these decisions, don't do anything stupid and just get your top wide receiver. So when your quarterback of the future gets there, he has a top dude ready to throw to him.
That would be amazing, but it's Atlanta, and I don't trust him.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be interesting. But like I said, I mean, it's just, Matt Ryan's gone. He's going to be he's a Colt now.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks so happy.
Mm-hmm.
Julio Jones got traded to Tennessee, and he's not happy anymore because he doesn't have a job. But when he went into Tennessee, he walked into that locker room, and honest to God, that was the first time I've ever seen him smile in his career. Like, Calvin Ridley is probably saying, "Yeah, I'll take a year off. Fuck it. I'll come back when they get better pieces." Like, you don't think that's what Calvin Ridley's thinking right now? All I'm saying for Atlanta is I want you guys to do good. Brandon's right. You guys do this to yourselves. And it was right there. And that's all you got to do. Just go get the top dude. And just listen, take your bumps now, but build it the right way. So when it is time to start winning, you'll actually have that winning team. So that's going to do it for today's episode. For you Falcon fans, your torture is over. All right, your torture is over.
Well, it depends on what you do next month.
All right, exactly. It all depends on what you do next month. All right, your torture is over for our show, though.
Yeah,
Tomorrow, we got a good one for you. Got a good one, man. It's Seattle. Now, I know we're going to talk about the Broncos and what they did to get here and what happened. But the pick now belongs to Seattle because of the trade of Russell Wilson. All right, Russell Wilson is no longer a Seattle Seahawk. And just like the Atlanta Falcons, the Seattle Seahawks, for the first time in a very long time, are in rebuild mode. Since Pete Carroll got there, it is now rebuild time.
Well, here's the thing. Atlanta's been in rebuild mode for like 2 years, so I can't really even say it's like the same thing.
Well, they're about to start. Let's put it this way: they're going to start their rebuild this year.
When you trade Julio Jones last year, it's kind of like, okay, this is the end of this. This is the beginning of the end. We know it. Okay, this is interesting.
Well, I mean, but look at it this way: when Russell Wilson was the only thing that kept it together, and even Russell Wilson said, "Nah, I'm gone. I want to go. I'm out of here."
I mean, he started last year, so are we really that surprised?
Yeah, I get it. No, and I get it. But tomorrow, Seattle's on the clock. We're going to be talking about Denver, though. We're going to talk about their draft picks from last year, how they did, and Seattle we will make the selection for Seattle, and how Seattle got this pick and everything. And I get it; it's tough. It's a tough time for Seahawks fans because your Legion of Boom era to the Russell Wilson let Russ cook era is now officially over. The one thing still remains is Pete Carroll.
Oh my God.
And
oh my
it's gonna be like when he first walked in, no names, no nothing, and you're gonna have to build the team from scratch. But he did it once. Can he do it again? I believe he can. I have full. Listen, when you have the record and you have the thing of Pete Carroll and what he did, you got to give him another shot because he proved it once. You might as well just give him another shot and see how it goes. But I'm going to go. We're going to see how it goes. And, it's a new era in Seattle. Everybody's gone from that Super Bowl winning team. Everybody's officially gone. And I get it. It's a tough time, and it doesn't get easier because you guys they do play in what's considered the toughest conference in all of football. So now we're looking at a fact that, damn.
Yeah.
Like they're going to be down for a minute. And I know this much. If Drew Lock is the starting quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, I think I found your number one pick next year, man. I think I found your number one, bro. Trust me. I know it was tough, but tomorrow it's all about the Seahawks. And, we'll see how it goes from there. We're going to talk about the Broncos and all them. So we'll see how this episode goes. I want to thank everybody that tuned in today to talk about that team in Atlanta, the Falcons. Talk about that team, what they did right. And hopefully they make the right decision this offseason. Everybody here on YouTube. I want to thank everybody on Instagram. Carla, up the top, Maddie, Michael, and everybody else that's about to tune in later on to see this video. Thank you guys so much for your awesome support. We will be back tomorrow. The Seahawks are now on the clock. It's a new era. And we cannot wait to see how it all unfolds. Until then, I'm your good old boy, JR. Brandon, thank you so much for joining me tonight, man. I will see you tomorrow for the episode for the Seahawks. Everybody have a wonderful night.